Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I'm going to be installing an HID kit in the X19. As you know, it has one singular projector headlight up in the front, so we're going to add an HID to that. I'm also going to install a PC fan in there, just like I did on my X18 when I added an HID kit, so it will go ahead and suck out the heat and keep the plastic housing from melting. So we're going to get in there, we're going to go ahead and do that. The winner of the Amazon Fire TV stick or Amazon Fire Stick. The winner is Dame Saunders. Really cool guy. He created a video and, he basically, just kind of gave a shout out, like kind of saying what's up to me, giving me a shout out. But if you guys watch the video, and I'll put it in the comments below there, you could see the enthusiasm and just the sincerity in which he's just genuinely pleased and appreciates my video that I uploaded on how to install LEDs. So he's installing LEDs on his brand new X19 that he got from Venom Motorsports. This is my X19 I got from Venom Motorsports as well, and that's venommotorsportscanada.com. What's up, Moose? I know you're watching. What's up, man? So anyways, Dame Saunders, he's the one that won, and yeah, you could just see the sincerity. You could hear it in his voice. He's really appreciative, and that meant a lot to me. That's all I try to do is upload these videos to entertain and help people. And you could see he learned from one of my videos, and that's great, and that meant a lot. Also, you guys, the Xbox One, I'm giving away the weekend of the 29th. The 29th is a Saturday, or that Sunday. I'm gonna pick somebody on that day. So if you remember, I said I'm gonna wait till next week, which is the 25th, because that's when Madden 2016 comes out. When that comes out, I'm gonna buy that, or I already pre-ordered it. I'll pick it up, bundle that with the Xbox One Master Chief Halo Edition, also 1 year of Xbox Live. So I'll have that game, that way I could ship it out to whoever. So on the 29th or the 30th, when you guys see the video, I'm gonna be going through the comments and randomly pick somebody and then ship it out to them. The only thing I ask is when you get the Xbox One, just make a video saying, hey, I got it, or whatever. That would be cool. But that's it. So we're going to turn this around. We're going to start taking apart the front mask and get in there so we can go ahead and install this HID kit. And I'll explain where I got it and how much. I'll put that all in the comments. You guys know I'm very detailed, step by step. I know I talk too much. As you can see there, I put on some decals, no big deal. The Ducati decal, I'll leave a link for that in case you want to buy that too. And I got some more stuff coming. There's somebody who works with lights and stuff like that, so he's sending me a bunch of stuff, which is great, and I'll mention him later when I start installing some of the stuff he sent, and he's going to be sending more. You guys are going to get a kick out of it. It's cool. So anyways, I'll stop talking. I'll turn this around so you got the details, everything you want to know about the Xbox One and who won the Amazon Fire TV. Thanks a lot, Dame. What's up? That was a really cool video, man. Thanks for that. And what's up, Moose, and everybody else, and Mrs. Loco. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get into this, and then, let's install this HID kit so we can ride it at night. You guys know the light on the X19, it's average, you know what I mean? But you're not going to want to be out in traffic with it. It's not that bright. You can see, but you can't see. So that's why we're going to add the HID kit that way. It's nice and bright. So anyways, alright guys. Okay guys, first thing we're going to do, instead of me taking off this whole front nose, what I'm going to do is just get in here, and there's 2 Phillips screws. I don't know if you could tell. Let me try and get in there for you. You see right where the nail is touching? Let me get under here. Right there. Okay, there's one on each side. I'll go ahead and unscrew it. That way I could take the whole light out. So let me unscrew that, and then taking the light off, that way I could work on it and not have to take off the whole front nose. By the way, you know what guys, while I still have the old light on, let's go ahead and cut it on so you can see just how bright it is. And there you go. It's okay. It's average. Reminds me of a flashlight pretty much. Alright, so I got one screw out here. I'm going to go ahead and take out the other one on the other side. Okay, so upon removing the light, like I said, there's 2 screws holding it in. One goes here, one goes there, and then you go ahead and remove it, and then here's your light with the plug. So we have that there. I just took that off with a regular old Phillips screwdriver. So now we have this here. And okay, so we'll go ahead and turn this and twist it. Take that off. And then here's your plug. Hang on to this. We're gonna need this. All right. Now we'll go ahead and try and get the bulb out. Here's the bulb. I'm gonna hang on to that as well. And then here is our housing. So what we're gonna do is install the 40mm PC fan, you know, probably right here on the bottom. Again, we're gonna open this up and then put the fan there, and that way we can go ahead and suck the heat out. So I have my 40mm by 40mm by 40mm. Joking. Okay. So I have my 40mm by 40mm fan, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut, and we're gonna put this in right here. You guys remember, when you place this in here, you don't want the fan to be pushing air in. You want it to be going the other way and sucking the heat out. If you guys have a Xbox One or a PlayStation 4 or a DVR or a computer or a laptop, and you hear the fan and you put your hand behind it, notice you'll feel a lot of heat. That's because the fan is extracting the heat out, keeping the system from overheating. And that's exactly what we want to do. We want to keep it from overheating. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and trace the fan on a piece of paper, and then mark it on here, and then I'll know where to cut. This is just plastic, so don't worry too much about that. All right, guys. Okay, so I have it here, and then inside is the metal housing that was kind of holding the bulb in. Don't bend it too much in case you ever want to revert back to the old bulb. And then yeah, I just took a piece of paper very poorly, and you know, I sat the fan on top of a piece of paper, you know, and traced it around so I have an idea of the width and dimensions of the fan. Then I went ahead and placed the fan here and traced it with a marker very poorly. I'm not an artist, I'll be the first one to tell you anyway, so I know where to go ahead and cut. So I'm gonna cut now. I have the Dremel, so I'm going to use my Dremel and cut, which will make it a lot faster and easier. For those of you that don't have that, you know, before, a buddy of mine, when I went to his house, we just drilled in, because he didn't have the tools, we just drilled in straight here, and then we kind of took some, I forget the name, almost wire cutters like some sharp wire cutters, and kind of cut around and just made it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect, we just have to get the fan in there, but you don't want it to be too open, because you want the fan to fit in snug. Also, by pulling off the back metal piece that was holding the original bulb in, what'll happen is that'll give us a nice flush mount for the bulb to go right in here of our HID kit, because this is our HID bulb that's going to go right in there, like so. Alright, so I'm going to get my Dremel, and then I'm going to cut all in here. But again, if you don't have a Dremel, don't worry, you could use other tools to try to cut around. It doesn't have to be perfect, you just need to get it open enough so the fan will fit. Alright guys. So I got my Dremel here, and I'm going to start to cut. Those of you that are, you know, younger kids, get your parents, have them do this. Definitely don't use power tools unsupervised, and always, I'm gonna have safety glasses on. Always safety first. Alright, let me see if I can go ahead and get in here with my Dremel a little bit. Try not to kill myself. Go ahead and crank that up a little bit. Really quick, if you're not sure about your cut, it's always best to cut short or cut it smaller first, and then add as you go along, because if you make it too big, then you're in trouble. Okay, that should be about it. Let's go ahead and, there we go. Alright, good luck trying to get that out, huh? Alright, there we go. Now, you want to clean out the inside now, because you see there's a bunch of like black dust almost, but it's all the shavings from the plastic. So I'm going to get a rag, kind of clean in there, because we want it to reflect all the light in there. So it'll go in there like this, and then there's our hole. Alright, so after, you know, shaving it with my Dremel here, getting it wide enough again, I was with a buddy and we've done this before without power tools, you know, just drilling a hole in it and then basically getting like some really sharp, like wire cutters almost. It wasn't the straightest like this, but we got it done. Anyways, let's go ahead and try to fit this in here. And there we go. And that's what we want. See, so now it's in here like this. Perfect. Now it's gonna go ahead and suck out the heat. Let me get in a little closer for you there, as you can see. So it's like that. You see all that dust, plastic from me with the Dremel. Anyways, so it's in there like this. Perfect. So what I'm gonna do is probably take some Gorilla Glue and go around the edges just to make sure it stays in there, and even get some duct tape just around the edges. We don't want to cover these vents here. And then just to kind of help keep it in place, and then that'll be it, and we'll be able to put our light in there. So that's what it'll look like when you're all done. Alright guys, as you can see on this old rag I have here, there's a lot of black dust on the inside, so make sure you clean all of that out. You don't want that in there. So I'm going to take a couple minutes and do that. Make sure you get it off the projector on the inside as well. Anyway, something really quick I'm going to do, just because I'm going to attempt it. You see my light here, how it has these prongs, 1, 2, 3. I'm also going to cut out notches for that, like where I marked 1, 2, so you can see them where I wrote with the marker, and then 3. That way when I put the light in, you know, when it goes in here, it'll sit all the way flush in there. And then I'm going to glue it in there, because right now only the 3 prongs are touching the tips. So I'm going to cut that out and then go ahead and that way the light will sit flush all the way in there. Alright. Then now these pieces I'll just go ahead and break off with some pliers. So as you can see, I went ahead and cut down there, there, and there. So I'll go ahead and break these tabs off. That way the light will sit flush in there. Alright? Okay, so these tabs that I cut, just taking some needle nose pliers and breaking them off. See? Alright, not a big deal. I know you guys are probably like, it's crazy, but it's not that hard. It's only because I have the tools to do it, so it looks a little easier. But believe me, I've done this, you know, cutting this out with just, you know, a pair of sharp wire cutters pretty much, and a razor blade, and a drill. Alright. Okay, so I went ahead and pulled those pieces out with the needle nose pliers I had, and then you see how it sits in flush like that? Oh, right there. So now, oh, excuse me. Yeah, so now I can go ahead and glue it. I can do whatever I want. And I can also put some tape on the back side of this to help it stay in there. But I'll put some Gorilla Glue that I have, and then that way it'll sit flush in there. Guys, we're making good progress. Almost done here. Okay, so we have this, we have the light. We cut out the notches inside so the light will fit in flush. And all I'm going to do is take some crazy glue, or I use Gorilla Glue here. And then I'm just going to put that on the inside. Alright. And I'm going to be generous, let's say, with the amount that I'm putting in here. put the cap back on that. We have our light here. And then remember, we cut out the notches in there, and it's only going to fit in there one way. And that is like that. So you see it's in there, nice and flush, and that's how we want it to look. Now I'm going to put some duct tape over it to help it hold in place. That way it can go ahead and bond and adhere to the plastic here. And I'll bring this in a little closer so you can see it's nice and flush in there. See that? Okay. So I put a little piece of duct tape here. And also, you guys, I put a couple of more dabs of super glue, Gorilla Glue, on the top here, on the top there, and there. So I'm going to take one more piece of tape. I'll add a little bit more glue. So just so you guys can see. Okay, so I have another piece of tape here, and I'm just going to go ahead and put that on there. Oh, my gloves are getting stuck. All right. Okay. Now with the duct tape and the Gorilla Glue, as you can see, the glue hasn't even all the way started drying yet. And you see, like, it's not coming out. As you can see, it's in there just perfectly. It's not going to come out at all. So I'm going to go ahead and now put in the fan and put a little glue around the edges as well, and then put a little bit of duct tape as well. And then that's it. Oh, really quick, sorry guys, I forgot to mention. When you buy your HID kit, it's going to come in a couple of pieces, and you're going to have the bulb, which is here. Then you're going to have this plug. Okay. And then you're going to have what's called a ballast. And this is the ballast. This is the ballast that's going to convert the power coming off the pocket bike into enough power to power this high intense discharge light. That's what HID stands for, high intense discharge. So when you buy an HID kit, it's going to come with two of these, 2 ballasts, 2 bulbs, and 2 of these plugs, because it's meant for a car. And I'll leave a link in the description below of the HID kit that I bought on eBay, and it's not that bad as far as price wise. So yeah, so we're gonna mount the ballast on the bike too, and then this will go in here, and then this we're gonna connect to the power that was leading to the light switch, but we'll go over all that. Now let's go ahead and mount the fan in here. Okay, and then I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, because we're gonna need the positive and negative off of this to go into the power on the bike as well. So I'm gonna cut this really quick, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put the fan in. See guys, not that bad, we're almost done. Okay, all right guys, so I have the fan in here, and I'm gonna be real modest with the glue here. I'm just gonna put a couple dab just on the corner. I don't want it to touch the blades of the fan at all or get anywhere near there. For obvious reasons, we don't want to glue the blade shut. Then, you know, that won't be good for anybody. And yes, this was my own idea. Thought of this by myself. You know, you guys, I did this a couple years ago on my X18, and this is the only way to add a HID light and to keep it cool enough to keep the housing from melting, because the light gets so bright and so hot that it'll melt this plastic housing. And there were other people on YouTube attempting to do it, and they couldn't do it because it kept melting until I came along. So now you see anybody doing it now on their pocket bike, they all have a fan in there. It's the only way to keep it cool. You know, if the light heats up, let's say it gets 150 degrees, and to melt this plastic it's 120 degrees. So Obviously the light's hotter and it'll melt the plastic. But if this fan can suck out the heat and only keep the temperature in here at 100 degrees, well then that's below the melting point of the plastic shroud, and that's all we need, and we're golden. Also guys, like I said, we're gonna go ahead and cut this. I'm not gonna cut it all the way to the end. I might need that plug later, just in life, who knows. So I'll cut it maybe like right there, because we're going to use the black and red off of there. Okay, and then you guys, the plug from the light that has these three, we're going to go ahead and cut that as well. And don't cut it short to the end, and you know, in case you want to revert back to the old way or the old bulb. So you know, we'll cut it maybe like right here. We'll go ahead and cut that off as well. And then we're going to expose these wires. We're going to use the green and the blue. And then these are so thin, man, they're so tiny. We want to go ahead and expose the black and the red wire as well. And place it on the edge and over the glue. So there. And again, we don't want to cover up any of block any of the way of the fan blades. Okay. Alright, so you guys can see where I'm at. My glue is still drying on the outside here. So now we have the plug that, you know, plugs into the bike and then went into the headlight, but we took that off and we cut it, remember? So blue is positive, which is red, technically, and green is negative, which would be black. So to the fan, so it's going to go from the plug to the fan, which blue is positive, right? And then black will go to the green, which is negative. That way the fan will work when you cut on the lights. Now also, we need to take this plug, because this plugs into the ballast on the for the HID kit, remember? So this plugs into there. So the ballast needs power. So in order to do that, you know, we're going to go ahead and cut these off. Cut these tips off, because I'm not going to need them. Okay, then we're going to go ahead and expose the wire to these. Now, same way we've been doing on the other wires. Okay, not a big deal, we're just exposing wire. So now we're going to twist these all together and get them all ready. So this will be power for the ballast. We're also attaching it to the fan. Okay. There. And then this is the power coming in from the plug on the bike. Okay, so green is going to be negative. Alright, and blue is the positive. Okay, so this will plug in on the bike. Now our device, now the fan has power, and now the ballast will have power. So when you throw the switch on the bike, it'll power it all. It'll power the ballast, power the fan, and we're good to go. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and solder this just because I know how to solder, and it's more secure and stable with the bike vibrating around. But for the most part, as long as you guys twist these together, you could use electrical tape around it, and then you're done making your connections. You can go ahead and just use electrical tape, just electrical tape it really good, really tight, and make sure no wire is exposed, because you don't ever want them to touch or come loose or whatever later. So you could just put a whole bunch of electrical tape and do the positive, whole bunch of electrical tape and do the negative, and then you would technically be done. Now also, those of you who have electrical nuts, you could use that as well. Like put this on there, And the way these work, these twist and lock onto the wires. Then you could tape that on there and that'll work as well. But like I said, me, just because I'm here and I can, I'm just gonna go ahead and solder it. Yeah. And then you're good to go. Okay. And like I said, you guys don't have to solder. You could attach it the other ways mentioned, but I'm gonna go ahead and solder. I don't know if you guys can see, and believe me, I'm not the best solderer in the world. I'll tell you that right now. Basically, it turns this solder I have in my left hand into a liquid metal. Once it hits this hot soldering iron, it goes ahead and melts for a split second. So for a split second, it turns into a liquid metal. And at that point, it gets on the wires and your connections and stuff like that. So when it does that, it coats it in a metal, or the solder, and then now it gets all over your stuff. But the instant it cools, it hardens. Like really, really hard. Like metal. That's all soldering is. You're just heating up this metal, this solder that's in my left hand. Right? And that's all that it is. And basically, there's no way that'll come loose. Now again, you don't have to do this. This is just an extra step that I'm taking. It's not completely necessary. You can do it the other ways that I said. So I'll go ahead and do this to the positive side as well, and then I'll go and I'll be done. Then I'll just put some, I have some heat shrink laying around here. I don't know what I did with it, but anyways, I'll just wrap it in electrical tape because I don't have my heat shrink. Okay, you guys, so that's it, we're done. So I soldered both sides. Yeah, and basically there's no way that's gonna come undone. So green is the black, which is the negative, and blue is red, which is positive, coming off of our plug that's going onto the bike. And as you can see, there's no way this is coming off. Now, so we have power coming from the plug to the plug for the ballast and going to the fan, and that's what we need. Also on top of that, as you guys probably noticed right here, you're probably like, hey, what's that wire for? This is just an extra wire that I'm adding, and I'm just gonna cap it off. And what I'm gonna do is leave it here in case I ever wanna come back and add something later. I won't have to re-solder and all that stuff. Like the leads will already be here, the positive and negative, if I wanna add something else to the lights when they cut on. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cap this off, and I'm just gonna take some, because I can't find my heat shrink. I don't know what I do with it. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and take some blue electrical tape and wrap it around so no wires are exposed on either end, and that'll be it. Okay, so we're all done here. It's all done on the back, got the light. This is all nice and secure. The glue is dry. The bottom of the fan, that's in there too. See, it's like that, not blocking any of the fan vents. I still left this yellow wire here, although I don't need it. I'm gonna cut that off in a second. And then the red and black are going into the blue, and the green coming off of our original plug on the bike. And we also have power for the ballast. And these right here that I added, these two short positive and negative, and that's for if I want to add something else later coming off the same switch. So when I cut on the headlights, whatever is powered here will go on as well, which the fan will go on the same time the light is cut on. But these two I'm going to save for later because I have an idea for something else. But anyways, that's what it looks like. Not pretty, but it's secure and it won't come off, and we're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and mount the ballast on the bike, and then I'll show you where we're going to do that. If you could see right here, here's the ballast, and I'm going to go ahead and just put it right under here. Now I got some double-sided tape I'm going to put on here, but I'm also going to put 2 zip ties, and once the zip ties are around there, it won't come down at all. And yeah, somewhere I could easily get to it close enough so I can still plug in the power to the bulb, you know, coming off the ballast, and close enough for the power and everything else. So I'll go ahead and get some zip ties, put that there, and then yeah, we'll be good to go. Okay, so I put some double-sided tape here and here because there's only really 2 points of contact where it could even stick on under there. And that is your horn, by the way, in case you're wondering what that is up front. Okay, and that there. Pretty much. The double-sided tape is holding it, but we're gonna go ahead and go around it with some zip ties here. And then now, it's not coming off. Okay, and it's great because even if I turn the bike all the way right or all the way left, excuse me, even if I turn the bike all the way right or all the way left, it doesn't interfere with anything. I'm still good. And that's basically what you want, just clearance, so nothing will happen to it or get in the way. Okay, and then our second zip tie. Right around here, and that's it. It's not coming down. All right, nice and tight. Let me get my cutters. Go ahead and cut off the excess from the zip tie. All right, guys, we're just about done here. All right, so I got the light here. And remember these two screws, one on the left, one on the right, go back in here and screws back in to the front mask or nose on the bike, like there. So it's gonna go on like that. Just gotta put these two screws in, and we want the fan side down. And then I'm gonna go ahead and we'll connect all the plugs and stuff in a second. But let me get my screwdriver, put in the two screws, one that goes on the right and the other one that goes on the left, and that's it, guys. All right, guys, so that's there. The ballast is there, and we're ready to go ahead and make our connections here. So remember this plug, we're gonna go ahead and take this, plug it into the ballast. Now we got a lot of wires hanging down here, so I'll have to kind of loop them around, maybe make some adjustments, get the wires up. Yeah, I'll loop that around just so it's not hanging. And we're gonna plug this in back to the bike, the green, blue, and white. We'll go ahead and plug those in. Okay, we'll go ahead and plug in the one to the ballast. And that clicks in, you heard that. And then we have our positive and negative to the light bulb from the ballast, which is here. And I'll take that around here. Just go that way. All right, and this is red to red. And blue to blue. Or black to blue. Okay. One thing too before we try it, make sure you have enough clearance on your bike, all the way left, all the way right. Make sure your wires aren't hitting anything or all that stuff. Make sure you have enough clearance on the bike, and we do. We're good. Okay, let's go ahead and test it out really quick too, guys. Also, this HID light consumes a lot of power, so when you're using it, make sure the bike is running, because there's a small alternator on the bike itself that recharges the battery back. So you can have the engine off and use your lights for a little while, but don't have it on for a long time, otherwise it's going to drain your battery. So let's go ahead and let's check it out. Cut that on, the light switch, and there's our new HID light on our X19, excuse me, super pocket bike from Venom Motorsports. And let me tell you guys, it is a whole heck of a lot brighter. Now let's look under, see if our fan is going. And there it is. You hear it? Spinning around nicely. And we're all done. Wow, that thing is bright. There it is, spinning around nicely, and that thing is bright. Bright, bright. So now I'm ready to ride at night. Let me tell you guys, it's extremely bright. But it's great. You don't see it from the backside here. You don't notice anything. It's just 10 times brighter looking outward. And then look at this. And that is it, guys. We're all done. An HID kit inside of an X19 Super Pocket bike from Venom Motorsports. And we're all done, guys. More videos coming, more content. Alright. Oh yeah, also really quick, you guys, I forgot in the first video of me getting the bike and putting it together, make sure you put the spacers on. There's one that goes here on the left, and there's another one that goes here on the right when you put your bike together. You're gonna need to put those on, and I forgot that. Also, if you're gonna start your bike from a cold start, let me try to get in here. I don't know if you could see, but on the right hand side, if you're in front of the bike here, there's this lever. You lift that up, and that will enable the choke right here. So I flipped it down, and I'll flip it up. And that'll enable the choke, and it'll make it easier to go ahead and start from a cold start if your bike has been sitting a while. Let me try to zoom in there for you. I don't know if that helps, but yeah, here's my finger, and here's the lever for the choke. That's down. So once the bike is warm and you're driving normally, that'll be down. But if your bike's been sitting a while at a cold start, pop that up and then go ahead and start it. It'll be a lot easier to start. Once your bike's nice and hot and warm, go ahead and flip that down and then ride your bike. It should never be ridden with the choke open. So anyways, just wanted to give you those last two tips. Hey, what's up, guys? So the HID is all done. It's installed. It's nice, cool, ready to go. Flip it on. Boom. We got the super high intense light with the fan sucking out the heat. Okay. Also, let me go ahead and show you. So you guys, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where to go ahead and order from the same guy I did on eBay, and it's $27. Now let me turn this around so I can show you. So it is $27, and it's right here on my phone. $26.99. Now they're gonna ask you two questions. Once you get to there, it's gonna ask you what color do you want. Okay, I picked 30,000 K, which is 30,000 Kelvin. Now that's the color I picked because my bike is red. I wanted something kind of purplish or pinkish to kind of go with the red. But they have blue, white. I'll show you that in a second. And then they're going to ask you HID bulb kit size. So what kind of bulb do you want? Now it really doesn't matter which one you pick. That's because they're asking you what type of bulb because they're thinking it's going in a car. Depending on what type of car you have, that's the kind of bulb you're going to pick. But I picked a 9005 HB3. So you see it there, 9005 HB3. That's what I picked. You can pick any bulb. Again, it doesn't matter because it's not going in a car. Okay, now let me go ahead and bring this up for you. This quick picture that I have. Now they have a picture and it shows the different colors right there. And it starts out with the one on the left at 3000 K, which is 3000 Kelvin. Then the next one is 5000 K, which is more of a white. And then the 6000 K, which is still super bright, which has a little bit of blue in it. And then the next one there is 8000 K, it's got more blue. 10,000 K, so on and so forth. 12,015. I went with the 30,000 K because it's more of a purplish violet kind of a color to go with my bike. You can pick any color you want. Generally, the brightest that I've seen are the 6,000 or 5,000 K. Those are pretty bright. They're all bright, but that's the brightest. Like I have a 6,000 K in my car. So that's what they're gonna ask you. They're gonna ask you what Kelvin color do you want? So you choose out of those, and then they're gonna ask you what bulb size. And they're gonna send 2 ballasts and 2 bulbs because they're thinking it's going in a car. So for 27 bucks, you get 2 bulbs and 2 ballasts, and you can go ahead and choose whatever color and stuff you want. But that's it. More content coming. You guys stay tuned. My giveaway I'm doing the week of the 25th, which will be that weekend the 29th. That's for the Xbox One. And yeah, so this is cool. We're done here. And stay tuned. All right, guys.